You're here with me, Jen the Taxidermy Witch, and we are on my weekly episode that I do every Thursday, and I call it Taxidermy Thursday, where in this episode I introduce you to a piece of taxidermy that I have, and I tell you things about it, like where I got it from, what it might be worth. I hope I remember to mention all of these things. I'm just trying to talk to you guys as friends and show you a bit of what I have, all in one go, all in one shot, you know. I say it a lot, I don't edit my videos, and it's partly because I don't know how, partly because it takes a lot of time, and because I do know how to cut off the end and the beginning. It takes a lot of time, and I can't get as much content out to you guys. I'm basically showing you what I'm doing all of the time. So if this is your first time here, welcome. Subscribe if you like my content, and come join our family, because we have something really excellent going on here, don't we? Don't we? Okay, I've lit a candle, and I'm going to tell you about Elenore, for two reasons. If you've been keeping up, I've told you twice in two different videos that she wants to be in the next episode of Taxidermy Thursday, because she wasn't in the last one. So this is episode 2 on Elenore, this reptile head crocodile, and so I'll just tell you about her. She's holding a piece of, I believe it's red jasper, that I got from my brother Daryl in a really cool gift. It's this gold heart, and it's it opens up, but I didn't know it opened up until I was cleaning. And I was dusting it, and I was like, oh, it has a mechanism, like a little latch. And I opened the latch, and inside was this tiny piece of that type of amethyst that blends with green. I don't know what it's called. A little piece of that, a point. This red jasper, and a note that said, like, something along the lines of, whenever you think no one loves you, I love you. And I had opened it at, like, just the right moment of my life, like, where I so needed to hear that from him, because we don't talk a ton. He has a really amazing job in Seattle, and, like, very corporate, and he's a very busy man, but he makes time for family, that's for sure, and the time that he does spend is super genuine. So I keep that in her mouth, and I feel like that's part of the reason why she's so special to me, and the fact that I gave it to her, because it belongs to her now. And she belongs to me, don't you, baby? I take such good care of you. It just made sense that they went together. And there's these little holes in it, and her tooth kind of fits right into this little hole, because the crocodile teeth are really sharp. So check out the stone. It's awesome. So I put that in her mouth, and it doesn't always stay. Is that where you want it? Okay. So yes, Elenore, let's tell the story about how she fell into my lap, or how we first met. This is so funny because I never thought about this. She came from the same trip that the first cat that Alex and I bought together about 6 years ago, Bazinga. We brought them both back to Seattle together, because we went on this trip to visit some friends of Alex's, basically like his second mom and dad. They were really good to him in times when he was estranged from his parents, or, you know, like, we all have hard times. They were just right there for him always. So we go on this trip, and we spent the week, you know, we didn't get a hotel, we hung out with them. It was really great. And then, but like when they went to work during the day, we just hung out around the house, went and ventured out in Montana, saw the streams, the rivers, all of that. So we were downstairs and just doing some like Netflix marathon or something. It was because it was too hot to be outside. It was like the middle of summer. So hot. And as I remember, they didn't have air conditioning, but the basement was cold because it was underground. So they had all this interesting stuff down there, and it was kind of dark. Not creepy, but just like basements are creepy anyway, aren't they? And I saw little Elenore on a shelf, and as soon as I saw her, and she's one of my earlier collections. Like, it's really been the last 5 years I've been heavy collecting, but she came from about like 6 years ago, 5-6 years ago, so it must have been in the beginning of my setting in my collection. She's never been in storage or anything, and I can't say that about a lot of my pieces because we've moved. So I've always kept her with me. One of those reasons is because I'm clairaudient with her, and if you don't know what that means that you hear a voice in your head and you know where it comes from. That's my best way to describe it. It's intuitive hearing, or being able to hear spirits, hear things on different realms. I can't hear people's thoughts. That's not at all what I'm saying. But I can hear voices in my head, and when I was younger I thought that it was cuckoo clock. But now I understand that it's just called clairaudience. So I'll do a video more on that and talk about all the pieces that I have that I'm clairaudient with. That would be really fun. But Elenore is definitely one of my closest pieces, and she's always right up here on my dresser. I can usually always see her, and sometimes you can and sometimes you cannot. But she'll tell me, I want to come down for this video. When I'm sitting and I wake up in bed and I look over at her, I hear something in my head, and that, like, you know. Or when I had her on the table and we were talking about next Taxidermy Thursday, she interrupted me during my thought, and I just had to stop talking to you guys and listen. And sometimes it sounds like fuzziness, sometimes it sounds like ringing in my ears, but I more attune the ringing in my ears to spirit guides. So anyway, Elenore, I'm jumping all over the place, I'm sorry. So I saw her when we were down in the basement doing a Netflix marathon on a really hot summer day in Montana. And then she was on the shelf, and I said, whose is this? And we were hanging out with this kid, one of their adopted children named Zach, because their adult children are all moved up and grown away. They just had, Zach is there, and now Zach's like 17, but at the time he was like, what? Maybe he's 18 or 19 now, because I think he was like 12 or 13. And he goes, oh, it's mine, do you like it? It's like, heck yeah, I like it. It's like, are you really attached to it? He goes, what do you mean? I go, well, could I trade you something for it, or would you sell it to me? He goes, oh, if you want it, you can have it, you know? And I think what happened was, it's one of either two things happened, and I'd have to ask Alex. Either we gave him $20 because he just wanted to give it to us, or he said he had been complimenting all of Alex's band t-shirts that he was wearing throughout the week, and I think we may have given him one of the t-shirts. But there was an exchange, because, you know, as soon as he found out we liked it, because I think I know he adores Alex so much, and he was asking a lot about my tattoos and stuff, so, you know, I, as a kid, looked up to people with tattoos. I don't know what that says about me, but I think he looked up to me, and I'm really good with children. Like, tattoos aside, the way that I treat children, I don't dumb down what I say, I never have. I talk to them like adults, and part of the reason, too, is probably because I'm not fully an adult. You know, obviously, my age, I'm way past adultism, but my mind is just kind of stuck at this, like, 17 to 19-year-old level of just, like, the things, like, I want to do, or, like, you know, bunk off from work and go hang out at the river during the day, or, like, cancel friends with plans with friends or family members so I can make videos. And I don't do that, by the way. Like, you know, I've really tapered down on that, but I don't do it anymore, and I only do it in emergency. But I just try to pair with that, never lying, you know. So I'll just be honest. Well, like, I had personal things going on. I can't. I've got too much. And I want to talk about, in that, like, being an empath, the young boy that was in that house that gave this to us, he's so sweet, but I felt like he was so ignored by his parents, and so I bonded, somehow connected that empathy with that bond for Elenore. So yeah, I mean, he's doing well now, he's got loads of friends, and he's always been doing well, treated well, everything's good, but I know what it feels like so much to not have your parents around because they're working all the time. And I've talked about that a lot, but so I've kind of felt for that. And I felt like Elenore being down in the basement where it was dark, and she was literally like on a shelf kind of in a corner. Like, I only spotted her out because I was really scanning the room, looking around. And I don't know how many people do that, you know. I just wanted to get to know the people more and see what their lives were about because I had never met them and I was just there for my first visit. But Elenore started speaking. I could hear or feel, you know, like hear words from her starting that first week that I got her home. And I thought that I heard her before we even asked Zach who she was. But there were so many people talking in that moment that sometimes it's hard for me to gauge whether my empathy is feeling, you know, some clairaudience from something or an emotion from a person or something that's going on between myself and another person. It's like a big jumble sometimes, and it's hard to define where things are coming from. But I felt like she is what encouraged me to ask the boy if I could have that, or if we could do a trade or give him money for it. So Elenore, I hope that I've done you justice. If you want, I could grab the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit deck and just say a little bit about the crocodile. So yeah, I'm behind you getting that. Don't be frightened. Elenore, be a good girl. So I show you Elenore again. I'm going to show her without the red jasper because sometimes she likes to drop it and I think she thinks that's funny. Well, I know she thinks that's funny. So, say hi, darling. They're very sharp, so when you use her in magics, also I think you can get these for $20. I wouldn't pay more than probably $20 to $40 for one. And if I haven't mentioned before, you never want to barter for your magical tools. You never, ever, ever want to barter for magical tools. As much as you can, you want to make and create your own. But if you buy something like a piece of taxidermy, don't barter on the price. It will affect your magic. And it's the integrity of the object. Like, honestly, especially a piece of taxidermy, they can be spirited, and there has been a soul attached to that item. You know it for sure, 100% positively. There was a soul attached to it at one time when it was in its living form, yes? So, how would you flip and feel if somebody tried to barter for you and say, even golf clubs are magical tools. My boss was giving some poor guy a hard time for a secondhand golf club, and I'm thinking, what are you doing? You're rich. Why are you bartering for your magical tools? And he sure did get it for $60 instead of the $100, and it was worth $2 something. It was like a driver. I don't know anything about golf, but I heard it was a driver. And it was beautiful, and that guy, like, looked up to my boss so much. And, like, he just, like, kind of, like, demeaned him in front of the whole restaurant. It was like, I'll give you 60 and that's it. If you want to give it to me, that's it. And he took it because he needed the money, man. That's not right. So, and that weekend, he said he played shit and lost all of his games. There you go. You bartered for your magical tool. You made someone feel bad. You knew it. Putting pressure on somebody that has less than you so that you can gain. When will these people learn, man? My bosses, when will they learn? When will they learn? So anyway, Elenore, I wanted to either give this boy the gift of like a massage or some energy work or maybe one of my crystals or something of mine, you know, a real soul trade. He was giving me something of his that he loved, and I wanted to give, you know, and I hope that in the end it wasn't money he took. I think it was rather one of those t-shirts, like I said, of Alex's. But like, I was hoping to trade him like a massage or, you know, whatever, but because that t-shirt, when he has it, he'll always think of Alex and the way he looks up to him, and I can't believe Alex gave me the shirt off his back. That's literally the kind of guy he is. And you guys, maybe he is going to say that to somebody. Alex is literally the kind of guy who'll give him the shirt off your back. Because, so, the things that you do and the gifts that you give are so empowering to people that don't get that a lot. And I felt so close to this boy at the moment because when I was young like that, I didn't have a lot of friends. When people did pay attention to me, I was like, oh my gosh, somebody likes me, you know? And so, Eleanor's really special. And she's also cheered me up when I have been so sad. Like, I've had times where I've been so sad, and you guys know that, and I've literally heard her say, get your butt out of bed, get in the shower, we're going to have a great day together, and she'll give me an idea. Let's go to the cemetery, let's go to the river, let's go to the beach, you know, let's take a drive. So for all those times that you helped me, girl, I have to say thank you. And I also think that could be used for clairaudience too, because the eyes, when they put into taxidermy, any kind of taxidermy, obviously aren't the animal's real eyes. But hers are like vibrant green, and I think that's really cool. So you could try and channel that for clairvoyance, where you want to have the gift of second sight. We all have it on one. If there's a percentage scale, and it's out of 100%, we all have clairvoyance, clairaudience, claircognizance, and psychic abilities on at least 1%. Most of us, I believe, have them at about 10%, but we're not listening. Those thoughts that float into our head, we just think they're thoughts. Where did they come from and why? Is it your spirit guide trying to contact you? Why do you feel this additional weirdness, like the ringing in the ears? Or why do you feel warm tickles down your arm when there's no other explanation, not even like a pinched nerve or a tight muscle over the brachial plexus? If you know anatomy, you know what I'm talking about. There's no reason for any of it. So, if we all have these at 1% or another, all you have to do is study, just like for a test. Study how to heighten your clairvoyance, your claircognizance, and some of us are born or gifted claircognizance, and I think that I was gifted claircognizance at a very early age, because if you listen to my story about the little kitties that I found when I was really little, and even after they were gone, they were taken away from me, I could hear them cry, and I would look for them, and then after that I started hearing animals talk to me, like cows and stuff, and like I said, I thought I was going Looney Tunes, but I truly believe, and I've had a conversation with one of you about it, thank you for that conversation, it really helped me, that the clairs in any form are gifted to us for one reason or another, and I think that the claircognizance was, the clairaudience was because I was lonely, and it's like having a imaginary friend kind of anywhere you go, but then you realize it's not imaginary. And I think a lot of imaginary friends for children is either clairaudience or fairies. I think sometimes the fairies show up as imaginary friends for children. Because I saw it in a dream last night. And usually when I see something in a dream, and then I do research. But I'll let you know. Okay, so here's the crocodile card. And here's Miss Elenore. Okay, and this is out of the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit Guidebook and deck, which I'm getting used to right now. And I'm doing videos on those for you guys, 3 cards at a time. The next video will be, looks like stingray, fish, and starfish. But we just got into the waters, and crocodile was the first one out of the water section. So we've gone all through the land ones, starting with the bear. Okay, so crocodile, let's talk about it really quick. Elenore, you hold, yes? She doesn't like that. Okay. I don't blame you. Okay, crocodile, resting, submerging, collecting energy, and cooling off. Makes sense. They sit in the water and they are doing resting. They submerge themselves except for their eyes. See, their eyes are the only part that's up out of the water. The rest is completely submerged. And their bodies are built so that the rest of the body hides so that they can hunt. And it's literally just this peak of their eye is out. Okay? And they have to sit like that for a long time because the other animals around that they're trying to prey upon for food have seen it move, so they know something's there, but then eventually they'll forget about it after, 20 minutes, an hour? And then the crocodile, patiently. So, and cooling off, they're an amphibian, so they're in the water a lot. That makes sense. The crocodile reminds us to step back from the external world and turn inward. Kind of like getting off the land, going into the water and hiding, like I was talking about. That kind of makes sense, right? We're good on time. Now is not the time for decisions, acting, or discussion. The crocodile's mantra is, wait. Like I said, patient, patient, patient. This doesn't mean lying around hoping life's challenges will disappear. The crocodile is much smarter than that. It means, you are so smart. She's funny. It means intentionally withdrawing, gathering our awareness, observing, and building energy. Fill up that vital reserve so your next move comes from a place of wisdom and power. She said that Zach took the t-shirt. Just blurted it out in the middle of everything. So I'm going to have to message Zach. Shit, I said his name. It doesn't matter. He won't mind. He took the t-shirt. Right at the end of the video, too. Oh well. Fill up the vital reserves so your next move comes from a place of wisdom and power. When in balance, wise, patient, a silent powerhouse. When out of balance, feels stuck, lashes out. To bring into balance, rest and Makarasana pose. I'm guessing that's a yoga pose. Alright, and if you guys know, let me know what it is, please. Have a really beautiful day. Thank you for joining me back here, Jen the Taxidermy Witch, to be with me and Elenore. Elenore and I, me and Elenore, in all of our love, light, beauty, and excitement to be with you guys here, our best friends. Come join me back for the next video where we talk about how to use kitchen scraps that would otherwise be thrown out for our magical tools. You may never have to buy herbs again if you listen to my advice on how to forage and or forage from your kitchen scraps. Okay, you guys? All my love. Jen and Elenore.